Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly. Well, welcome back to the DCL podcast, your podcast to help you and your family cruise a little smarter. And we've got just kind of a fun, quick pre-trip report now that the Disney Dream is getting ready to set sail here on August 9th. And got several people that are going to be sailing on the 9th, sailing the 13th and onward. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk to somebody ahead of time, kind of their thoughts on getting back on board the Dream, cruising in general. So I'd like to welcome to the show today, Michael, all the way from Pennsylvania. How you doing today?
Doing great. And yourself?
Not too bad. I gotta throw this out there. I noticed on your Instagram name that you have Zamboni in it. And I used to play hockey back in the day, not a very good player, but I was always amazed by the Zamboni drivers. And do you still do that?
I wish I could. It's like riding a bicycle. If you have to, you can jump up there and do it. But I have graduated into the thresholds of management. So it's simply a love of the machine now.
We used to have tickets to the New Jersey Devils. There's a whole bunch of us. Always kind of wondered, were you nervous out there when you're cleaning the ice in between periods?
Yeah, the first time you do it in front of 18,000, you're a little nervous. But after that, like anything else, it becomes routine and you can ignore what's going on around you.
Well, I love it. There's definitely a cult following of Zamboni drivers, I know, in the hockey world. So good on you for being able to do that. Well, let's jump into a little Disney cruising. You guys are booked to go on the Disney Dream. As we kind of get into it, which cruise are you and your family booked on?
So we're booked on the August 9th return to sail from Disney Dream out of Port Canaveral. It's a 2-stop at Castaway Cay and then right back into Orlando.
Were you pretty excited to hear that you're going to stop at Castaway Cay twice instead of Nassau?
We'll get into it in a little bit, but I can say we knew we were going to Castaway Cay twice before we booked it. So.
Okay. Well, before we talk about this cruise, could you kind of give everybody kind of your family's cruising background with Disney Cruise Line, and have you sailed with anybody else?
It's my wife and myself. We'll call it semi-new. This will be our 3rd Disney cruise overall. We've done a 5-night double dip probably about 4 years ago on the Dream. And then about 2 years ago, we did a 7-night Eastern Caribbean on the Fantasy. And now this one will be our 3rd. Beyond that, no, we don't have much cruising experience. We're just simply Disney fans who wanted to try out at one time and then got hooked like most everybody else does.
It does have a way of hooking you, doesn't it?
Very much so.
So it's just you and your wife going on this next cruise then?
Just my wife. Yep, the two of us. We like to call ourselves the Dinks, double income, no kids. So it's get out there, have some fun, and enjoy the adult-only area and enjoy the rest of the ship when everybody else is at dinner.
Awesome. I love it. Are you guys second seating then? Dinner?
Currently second seating, yes.
Okay. Do you like that? Have you tried the first seating at all, or?
We haven't. We're on a wait list for the first seating to see if we like it, but we've done second seating twice now.
Okay. Well, we won't get too deep into the woods as far as like the pre-booking process. They've changed it up quite a bit from what it was before. Was there anything that really stood out to you as far as what you had to input before you went on the sailing, Michael?
They do make you upload your passport now, which I don't remember them doing, and you have to upload a recent selfie against a clear background, which we weren't anticipating. So if you're doing it on your computer, make sure there's a new camera on your computer or have some selfies ready to go.
Okay. And anything else as far as the medical stuff goes?
Medical was pretty quick and easy. They do have a separate website from a third-party coordinator now. Okay. I can't remember the name of it top of my head, but for us, we had to input our vaccination status. And if you do register as vaccinated, you have to upload a picture of your card.
Okay. Besides the pre-steps that you booked as far as the medical and the selfie and stuff like that, what did you and your wife pre-book anything else as far as activities on Castaway Cay? Are you guys into some of the maybe drink tastings or spa experiences?
This time around, we pre-booked a 2-day package on Castaway Cay, which we'd never seen before. It's a snorkel, raft, or float, and bicycle rental. So we have that package for 2 days at Castaway Cay, and then we pre-booked a dinner at Remy.
Oh, okay. Have you guys been to Remy before?
We have, and again, fell in love with it, and now we're going back.
We have not. My wife and I have not done Remy yet. We've been to Palo several times. Have you been to Palo?
We've done Palo as well. Remy's obviously a bit more upscale, and it's a good 3 to 4 hour meal versus a more just an upscale dining at Palo.
Do you guys do the wine pairings with it too when you pre-book?
We have. Oh. Yep. And sommelier comes out, gives a nice brief history and how it pairs with the meal.
And then I guess the last question I got, do you go with the French or do you go with the American pairing usually? Or not pairing, but a meal that they offer?
One of each, of course. That way you get to taste it all.
Do they bring you extra if you want extra? I've never asked anybody that.
You know what? We've never asked, but there's always a time to try. So I think we'll have to try that this time around.
They give you so much food. I'm guessing anyways that at least when we've gone to Palo, I'm not sure if I've ever had room for extra as far as that goes.
Yeah, not much happens after the Remy meal. It's usually finish it up, and if you're lucky, you make it back to your room before you collapse tired.
Going back to Castaway Cay, they've got those 2-day booking packages, I think, because they added Castaway Cay, or since they've got 2 stops for each one of the sailings in August, I think they added those packages just so that if you're into snorkeling, you can do that ahead of time. So you just book both days if that's what you want to do. So I did notice that on the website as well. Did you guys do any drink packages, or not drink packages, drink tastings or anything like that? Because we're actually booking on Monday, and my wife and I were kind of going back and forth whether we wanted to do maybe mixology or wine pairings or something like that. Did you guys do anything like that?
We haven't booked it on this cruise yet. We're going to get on board to see if they have additional signups. A lot of them for the sea day were sold out already. Okay. And embarkation day, it looked like all the tastings were after 8:00 at night, which as second seating dinner would probably right smack dab in the middle of.
Yeah, that makes it tough there. Did they offer anything else, Michael, as far as things that you could book on board that you noticed that was different?
Not that was different that we noticed. The spa you could still book. Apologize, we didn't look into any of the kids' stuff since we didn't need to, but everything else seemed to be pretty much the same. They do allow you to book a 30-minute photo session with one of the photographers. That was interesting and different.
Well, thinking about getting back on the Disney Dream, I guess, what are some of the things that you and your wife are excited to experience and do with this cruise coming up, Michael?
Kind of excited to be the guinea pigs, be the first one, some of the first ones on board. We don't mind that. We were actually some of the first back in the DVC resorts a year ago when they reopened, before the parks were even open. And we booked this probably about 2.5 weeks ago after they announced the return to sailing. So we said, it was fun the first time around experiencing Disney World when it was empty. So let's see what happens when the ships are theoretically half empty. Obviously, nobody knows what the capacity is yet, but it's something fun to try. So that's what we're most looking forward to, getting out there, relaxing, and hopefully not having to get up at 6 a.m. to go get a beach chair.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people, myself included, are jealous in a good way of you guys being able to be on this cruise, kind of get back there on the ocean, experience the Disney magic that is Disney Cruise Line, and the food as well. Do you have a favorite restaurant on the Dream outside of Remy?
You know what? Not off the top of my head.
That's okay. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here on a couple of these questions.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since we've been on one, so I haven't really thought about it. We're rotating. Remy's the last night of the cruise, so I know we're going to rotate through all 3, which will give us a good refresher.
That's the perfect way to end the cruise too, with Remy on a nice Remy dinner, and then I think my wife and I would go for a long stroll around deck 4 or something like that afterwards to kind of walk it off.
Good idea. I have to try that.
So I guess a couple more questions just about the ship itself. What are some of the things that you guys enjoy doing since you guys are self-esteemed dinks? What are some of the things that you guys like to do on board? Do you like to take part of the trivia, match your mate, some of the shows like that, or what do you guys do?
We love doing trivia quite a bit. Always hit up 1 or 2 of those a cruise, depending on how long the cruise is. The game shows are very entertaining. Do love watching match your mate. We came close last time to volunteering, but maybe this time when nobody's around, we'll try it if they have. Other than that, we'll go catch a movie, probably a show if they're showing them. Jungle Cruise is out, so hopefully they're showing that in the movie theater there.
Have you seen it yet?
We saw it. Gonna have to watch it a second time around to see how much we like it.
Okay. Nobody, as we're recording this, and this is going to come out as audio, nobody can see what's behind you on your wall, but you've got a Jungle Cruise print, and I haven't actually seen it yet, but you must be a pretty big fan.
We are tiki aficionados. Jungle Cruise, Trader Sam's, any local tiki bar we can check out, we will do that. The one behind me is actually a shag print that he made that we were able to get our hands on.
That's awesome. Well, let's turn to what you guys have planned prior to the cruise. With this being the first ship coming back, it sounds like you guys are DVC members. Where are you guys going to stay before the cruise? And a question I think a lot of people might have is, how are you going to get out to the port?
So this cruise, we're doing the bad thing. We are actually flying down the morning of embarkation. The reason we were able to book this cruise is we had a stay at Disney World already booked, and we said, well, let's go ahead and change our plans. So we fly down that morning. We actually have a rental car that we're going to take out to the port, leave there. And then when we return on Friday, we're headed right back to the World and stay there for a couple more days. And then we actually jump on to Allure of the Seas and hit a Royal Caribbean cruise.
Oh, wow.
Immediately after. Yeah, originally it was going to be a week at Disney World and a week on a cruise. And then Disney Cruise Line announced their plan. So we pivoted.
Yeah, why not just add another 3 days on the Dream?
Why not?
I love it. Are you guys going to park at the parking lot there, or the parking garage?
Still going back and forth on that one. The fact we have a rental car at a good rate right now is something I'm not willing to let go of, I think. So we may park. Obviously, the other option is to drop the car there and book another one. But as rental car rates go, it's not very pretty in Florida.
Yeah, you're lucky to have a car. Depending upon the week and the day. We've got our next cruise is in November, and we've got the car booked for a week. And I think we're just going to hold on to it and park it at the parking lot, I think, because we're going to be at Vero before and afterwards. We've done it before. We've dropped the car off, but I think we're just going to bite the bullet and pay the parking fee this time.
Yeah, we looked at it. It looks like Hertz has closed their rental location at Port Canaveral. Which is our preferred company. So that was the other reason we may just hold on to it. We've done private transfer in the past. We tried minivan one time. Both were fine and took a bus back to Disney World after each trip. So we'll see what it's like just driving out.
That's a good point. I haven't even checked because we usually use Avis and Hertz. And we've used Avis in the past out there at Port Canaveral, so I'm not even sure if they're open. So that might be a good thing if anybody's thinking about dropping a rental car off. Better make sure that they're open out there this time. So, all right. Well, I guess that's kind of all the questions I've got for this show. I'm excited for you guys to be able to go on the Disney Dream. I guess what made you decide to go on the Allure? We'll ask that question quick before we get out of here.
That one, we were booked to do one of their cruises out of the Bahamas. When there was no sailings out of the United States. And once they announced the sailings out of the U.S., we said, let's try and get on one there so we don't have to do the rigmarole of flying internationally. And then the Allure just happens to be out of Orlando, so we could pair it with a trip to Disney World, which isn't a bad idea.
Perfect. And as a DVC member, I got to ask you this. What are some of your favorites? Or do you have a favorite DVC resort there at Walt Disney World that you guys like to stay at?
At Disney World, our favorite's probably Wilderness Lodge or the Polynesian.
Okay.
Our home resort is the Grand Californian. So that's probably our favorite place overall to stay.
I love the Grand Californian. If you could, we've only
been in there.
Yeah, we've only been able to get in there once using our DVC points, but that is an amazing property. Love being able to walk out right into DCA there too. So.
Oh yeah, that's the reason we own there, is so we could book it and get in at the 11-month window. That's our resort of choice, is Disneyland over Disney World, but that's another topic.
Any thoughts about coming out to Aulani since you're Tiki fans?
Probably in a couple of years. My parents celebrate their 50th anniversary, and I think we're trying to target that for the entire family to go explore Hawaii. And since we're DVC, we can stay there and get a decent deal.
Well, I'm excited for you guys to come out and enjoy Aulani. And if you get a chance, jump over to one of the other islands as well, since you guys are a little bit further away, because there's just so much to see out here outside of the resort itself too.
Oh, definitely. I've been to a couple of the islands out there, and if you can get off Oahu, definitely recommended.
Well, I guess as we finish up, anything else that you want to talk about as far as your pre-cruise booking or thoughts about getting back on the Disney Dream before we end tonight?
No, just super excited and ready to go, and willing to take copious notes for everybody to help them out as we get going here.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Michael, for coming on, doing this quick episode tonight. I hope you and your wife just have a safe trip down there. Everything works out for the flight, getting down there, getting on board, and we look forward to bringing you back on in a week or so and hearing all about your cruise.
Sounds great.
Well, that's going to wrap up our quick show today. I really want to thank Michael for coming on and sharing his thoughts as he and his wife get ready to set sail on the beautiful Disney Dream August 9th. That's tomorrow, or today, depending upon when you're listening to the show, with the double stop at Castaway Cay. And we look forward to catching back up with Michael and his wife after they get back and bringing all their thoughts and their experiences as they sail aboard the beautiful Disney Dream. Well, as the Disney Dream starts sailing, and also the Disney Magic over in Europe, if you would like to come on and share your experiences to help our listeners learn from your experiences, sail a little smarter, we sure would appreciate it if you would come on and do so. You can reach out to me, Steve, at DCLpodcast.com, and we'll find a time to connect with you and bring you on and share all of your experiences. Well, between now and our next show, if you and your family are heading out on one of the Disney ships, whether it's the Magic or the Dream, or getting ready for the Fantasy in September, on behalf of myself, Steve, Christy, and Chris, all of us here at the DCL Podcast, we'd like to thank you for coming back and taking a listen, and we'll see you next time on the DCL Podcast. The DCL Podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.